Good morning, everybody. It's me, Teri Hunter. I'm an angel therapy practitioner, Reiki master, intuitive guide, and empowerment coach. And I'm here every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Pacific with messages from your angels for the week coming ahead, based on astrological rising sign. So first, I want to bring up each week we play a game, and that's an opportunity to win a half-hour free reading with me by picking a number between 2 and 500. And this week's number was 41. And unfortunately, I did not see a winner. So we'll just have to play again. So be sure to put your numbers in the chat. If there are multiples with the same number, the first person who puts the number in will be the winner. And you have 1 week to claim your prize. Good morning, small wildflowers. The other thing I wanted to talk about is rather than this week's doing an animal totem this week, I wanted to talk about the idea of automatic writing. I don't know if many of you in the audience take time to meditate during the week. And if you do, you might try keeping a pad of paper and a pen or pencil nearby, because as you meditate, if you see symbols, if you see any sort of imagery whatsoever or any phrases come to mind, just allow yourself to softly write down those things. Don't try to keep your eyes sort of at half mast so that your writing is not, you're not trying to think about it, you're letting it flow. It's another way to connect with spirit. It's something that I used in the beginning of my studies, and I found it to be really powerful. And recently this week, I was going through more of my paperwork and cleaning things out, and I found some automatic writings that I had done 7 years ago. I think, no, actually it's more, it was 2007. So gosh, that was a long time ago. And it was really beautiful to read them because Spirit had been encouraging me to stay the course, even though I could not see any sort of manifestations of the career that I really wanted. So I just want to encourage you this week and on the weeks to come to add this to your tool belt to connect with Spirit. It's just a very simple exercise. You can meditate and then allow yourself to write whatever comes after your meditation, or you can allow yourself to incorporate that within your meditation. So that's just another idea. Good morning, Marlene. Good morning, Cece Pups. Good morning, Chibuzo. Good morning, Kaya. Good morning, Debbie and Portia. Good morning, Carolina and Magic Cat. Thank you all for being here. Okay, so if you missed it, we did not have a winner this last week. Oh, thank you, Small Wildflowers. 41 was the number. Okay, so now let's go on to our readings. I want to mention this week we have a full moon. It's at 20 degrees. That's the Scorpio degree, and it's squaring Pluto. So while there is a trine to Jupiter, which is, can sort of maybe ease the tensions, I also feel like there is so much palatable activity going on with Pluto and Saturn right now that trumps everything else. It's trumping Venus, it's trumping the moon, it's trumping everything. And people, I believe, are reacting to old patterns in ways that are very, can be very challenging. And if you're on the receiving end of that, it can be feel quite destructive. So this week, I just want to be mindful that this full moon is going to illuminate a lot of those things, a lot of the imbalances. We're going to start to see this really starting to crescendo. So be gentle with yourselves and do your best to, for me, I'm avoiding being around situations and dynamics that might aggravate situations. So that's what I want to say. Good morning, MK. Good morning, Lava. Good morning, Melissa. I hope I didn't miss anybody. And let's start with our readings. I had somebody ask me to go back to doing it forwards from Aries to Pisces, but I kind of am going to have to decline that request. I've gotten used to going from Pisces, and we do put the timestamps in for everybody. So if you want to go directly to your reading for your sign, there will be a timestamp in the comments. So hopefully that can accommodate everybody. But you're right, Debbie Ruth, we're going to stick to Pisces first. Okay, so let's start. All right. Oops. Here we go. Thank you, Debbie. All right. Oh, goodness. What am I doing here? Mixing the decks up. All right. For our Pisces rising, moon, sun, and stelliums. Again, I think it's really important, guys, to pay attention to stelliums. When you have a cluster of planets in one place, it's going to have a significant impact on you. Okay, our first angel is Archangel Raphael. Our second is Serena. The third is Rosetta. And the final is Oceana. Okay. I hope you're feeling better, small wildflowers, and the cold and the storm has passed. Okay. Here we go. Joining Archangel Raphael is the Death card. Joining Serena is the Truth card. Joining Rosetta is the Lady of the Lake. And joining Oceana is the Risk card. Okay. This is what I want to say. So to me, good morning, Leanna, I'm sorry. I want to say death to me is never truly physical death. It is transformation. It is revelation. It is coupled here with Archangel Raphael. There is a healing to be offered through Pisces. This Pluto rules the eighth house. The eighth house rules death and rebirth. Having a square to Mars at the Scorpio degree seems to me to really accentuate the idea of a rebirth, a death and a rebirth, which offers a healing. And I'm going to say that because I'm going to go to the final position and then I'll go back. Taking action and lovingly asserting yourself into a deeper truth of what it resonates with you versus potentially going with the flow. And I say that because in the opportunity, the obstacle, we have the Truth card with Serena. And Serena traditionally is a card of financial abundance. But for me, this is the abundance of the truth. And I say it because in the angel's advice, we have Rosetta and we have the Lady of the Lake. The Lady of the Lake is about the courage to speak our truth. That is the deeper self-respecting truth that we have for ourselves. So I want to say that the Rosetta offers something to be taught to us, because Rosetta is about teaching, parenting, and about children. But I don't think this is about children. I think this is about the deeper truth inside the inner child, and that there is abundance to be offered as a result of unburdening yourself with anything that may not have true authenticity to what is real for your heart. And so, and I want to say this too, because some of these situations and these, I even think there's something going on with Uranus this week that is like opposite the sun that can create some sudden changes in things. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that if you find yourself in a metaphysical or metaphorical death, allow yourself to remember that the caterpillar had to die in order for the butterfly to exist. So give yourself a week of being gentle with yourself. You may feel squirrely, or people around you may feel squirrely. People may behave in a way that is straight up not true. So hold on to your truth and know that I want to offer this too. Pisces is extremely intuitive and ruled by Neptune and Jupiter, ancient ruler. I think that there are times when we're seeing this conjunction coming together, we're seeing a lot of the darkness bubble up. Darkness, in many ways, loves to distract those light workers, light beings. So when we allow ourselves to be angry or to chew on other people's imbalances or their lies and lack of their truths, then our light is dimmed. So I want to offer this community and everyone in it, not just my Pisces, to let our lights shine as we walk through this challenging time moving forward into into the new year, when we see Saturn and Pluto becoming more and more palatable. Okay, so let's go on to Aquarius. I find it to be really helpful for me when I have been wronged in a way that was not fair at all. I mean, I'll own when I do something wrong. I will own it all day long. I know myself. But when someone straight up, just creates a lie and blames me for stuff, and I find myself chewing on it, that's when my guides really come in and say, the more time you spend distracted by that person, the less time and the dimmer your light shines. And it's so important for us now to shine our lights, because we can really transform this time when we're remembering that. So, okay. So here we go. Going on to Aquarius. I go backwards. Backwards is forwards here on my show. And again, for those who are used to seeing their signs come up first, we'll have timestamps for you. So Aquarius, rising, sun, moon, and stelliums. And I actually go rising, moon, sun, and stelliums. Okay, let's see what's up. Oh, cards keep sneaking in from the other deck. There's the snake. Let's see what's up. Leanna, I can understand that. I tend to dwell on things too, and that's when I really pray for harmony within myself, and do my best to remember that I'm a human being. So I do. It is fair and just to acknowledge when you've been wronged, but it also robs us if we hang in there for too long. That's my point. Okay, here we go, Aquarius. Our first angel is Archangel Uriel. That's pretty funny, because Archangel Uriel rules unforgiveness, anger, resentment. We're talking about that right now. That's funny. Okay, here we go. In our opportunity, our obstacle is Bridget. In Angel's advice is Ariel. And in the final position is Akasha. See, I started studying the degrees a little bit, paying attention to Nikolai. I'm not sure I say it like he's an illness, like it's Nikola Stanovich, I believe. I started studying his degrees thing, and I have to say, when I saw the 20-degree full moon in Aries, I just saw double Mars coming at me, and then added Pluto, and I'm like, oh wow, because the past full moon was so warm and fuzzy, and so many wonderful things seem to happen on that day that it's interesting to think this next Saturday is going to be maybe a little bit of a different story, but it can really clear the air. Okay, let's go on. Note the Taurus moon. I'm going backwards, so I'm on Aquarius. I'm just starting. And yes, being happy drives people crazy. So you just continue to be happy. All right. Okay, so joining Archangel Uriel is the Grail Knight. Joining Bridget is the frog. Joining Ariel is the deer. And joining Akasha is the earth fairy. All right, so I said this just a moment ago. Archangel Uriel, it talks about helping you deal with unforgiveness, with anger, with frustration. And it's funny because oftentimes you'll hear that Archangel Uriel is a subtle energy. And I think the reason that he comes across as a subtle energy is because anger and frustration and unforgiveness is a huge energy that actually dims. We just talked about our light being dimmed. It dims his ability to get through. So here we have the Grail Knight. We're talking about Lancelot. There's the Excalibur, the sword of truth. In this situation, I really believe that this is about Archangel Uriel helping you cut through any illusions. Pluto rules the things unseen. And the human, when it is in a place of unseen, it will start to make up stories. And those stories are usually the worst case scenario, the most challenging, the most the things that will trip up our happiness the most. So in our opportunity and our obstacle is the frog, and we have Bridget. Bridget is the angel that says, look deeper into a situation, because I believe that the caution is potentially going into making a story bigger in your head. And when I say bigger, I mean it this way, Aquarius. If you're going through a challenging situation, let's say you're running across the same dynamic that you don't like, I think what Archangel Uriel is talking about in the Grail Knight is staying in this one situation and not gunny sacking yourself and saying, my whole life sucks. Everybody's mean to me. Don't pile it onto yourself, because I think this is where Archangel, or where Bridget has an opportunity to help you with the frog's energy to actually leap onto another lily pad, and in doing so, reconciling the situation, because in the angel's advice, we have Ariel and the deer. And during this time, it's important for you to connect to spirit so that spirit can help change your experiences, and to be gentle with yourself as you walk through the process, because this is a new opportunity for a new beginning, a new foundation. And I also want to offer this for my Aquarius, because Archangel Akasha talks about being a spiritual teacher, but I think this is about teaching you how to create a new foundation based on something more solid. Lancelot also represents seeking the sacred within myself. So this full moon has an opportunity to cut through whatever was illusion, whatever was sitting on shaky ground, whatever you were pretending not to know. Sometimes people will reveal themselves in ways that we will have sympathy for them. They'll say, oh, I always fight with everybody. I always end up fighting with everybody. And you feel sorry for them. And you say, I'm so sorry that happens to you. And the next thing you know, they're fighting with you and you didn't do anything at all. That's what I think this week has to do about, is feeling wronged when you were probably not responsible for it. And as a result of it, you have an opportunity to really create a new foundation with yourself, and also not allowing anger, frustration, unforgiveness. It erodes our physical body. Literally, whether we know it or not, it's not just our blood, everything. It's sending an energetic vibration. So I think there's an opportunity this week for Aquarius to really connect with their deeper truth, to allow whatever illusions and whatever behaviors are not authentic to your happiness to step aside and connect with spirit as you're gentle with yourself, because you may be frustrated as you move through this. All right, let's go on to our Capricorns. I found myself this week really focusing in on inner peace. MK, I think the scissors mean like to cut the people out, right? I think sometimes when we try to cut cords, we inadvertently give a lot of life to a cord. If we seek the lesson within, or the dynamic within the truth, that's what I think Bridget talks about, is looking deeper into a situation. Recently, I've been in a situation, and, I heard things and I paid attention to certain things. And then I was won over. Somebody got my sympathy. They kept victimizing themselves. And so in my healer, the natural healer in me wanted to uplift that person. And the next thing I know, all the behaviors that they had perpetrated, being victimized by, they were literally throwing at me. So yes, we might have to remove toxic people, but it's about being gentle with ourselves as we do so, knowing that we're not cutting them out in a violent way. We're just not allowing ourselves to be the recipient of their bad juju. That's the way I want to put it. Okay, so let's go on to our Capricorns. Remember, we go Capricorn rising, moon, sun, and stelliums. This is for you. All right, let's see. Our first angel is Indriel. The second is Shanti. The third is Sonia. And the final is Seraphina. Oh, my Taurus moon. Yes, we will say prayers that justice prevails for your dog bite. I hope that you're healing well. Hi, PP. PP from South Africa. Okay, no, you're not late. We go backwards here. So Scorpio's coming up. We're on Capricorn right now, and joining Indriel is the Queen. Joining Shanti is the Cat. Joining Sonia is the Truth card. And joining Serafina is the Partnership card. Okay. I want to say this for my Capricorn. So Indriel is the Lightworker card. This is about shining your light. We talked earlier in the broadcast about how when there's disruptive energies around us, it really can dim our light. It can actually cut our connection. It can put static in our connection to spirit. And I want to offer this because the Queen to me is a receptive energy. I don't believe this is about dominion. I don't believe this is in this case about feminine energy or friendships. I believe for my Capricorns, this is about receiving. We talk, it's very common to hear about the laws of attraction, but what people don't talk about as much is the law of allowing. We can attract things all day long, but if we don't allow them in, what is the point? So to me, this is again this week where we have this full moon at the Scorpio degree, which gives it a double Pluto energy, gives it a double Mars energy as well because of the Aries full moon aspect. So this is about remembering that the universe, the world here, to shine your light and to know that you are receiving. This is receiving God's love and God's energy. That's where I want to put this, that you are in many ways protected as you pay attention to that connection, because Spirit is going to, I believe, for Capricorn this week, encourage you to have healthy boundaries from anybody who disrupts the peace in your life. And if indeed those healthy boundaries come in the form of a little bit of distance right now, then I don't think there's anything bad about that, because I have Sonia, this is your guides, and there is the Truth card. This is this week. What does Pluto rule? Pluto rules the deepest, It's funny because I want to say it rules the deepest truths but it has to get through layers and layers and layers of sewage before sometimes that truth will erupt. And this is what I think is happening in this week, because I think that your guides are asking you to look at your deepest truth so they can bring you peace, give you a sense of healthy boundaries with those you may feel obligated to, and allow yourself to receive more. And I'm saying this, I don't know what I'm saying this because in the final position, we have the Partnership card and we have Serafina. Serafina is about a happy change to my family. So this is where I'm going. Leanna, did I confuse you? I see your question mark. I'm not sure what that is. I want to be clear for my Capricorns, because what I think this is about this week is receiving Spirit's support so that you can shine your light. Oh, good. Okay. Because that's where all this disruption that's going on, Shanti will bring up disruption. Disruption has to come up so that the peace can then be ushered in. So whatever is keeping that, and that's where the deeper truth comes in. Okay. So in this Partnership card is not a partnership with another human. This is partnership with your guides, with your angels. We have for our totem this week, we talked about automatic writing, and that is where you allow yourself in meditation to have a soft focus and allow whatever flows, whatever words, whatever symbols, whatever colors, whatever numbers come, flow through you so that you can start to see Spirit create this dialogue with you. And I think that's part of what this will be for Capricorn. Okay, so let's go on to our Sagittariuses. Alejandra, 789 is out of play to win a free half hour with me. The numbers are between 2 and 500, and that's because 1 is already out of play. And those numbers will be recapped as well sometime in the afternoon after we've gotten lunch and recovered from the morning. Okay, everybody, here we go. All right, Sagittarius. Welcome, Shelley. Welcome, everybody. Monica. Welcome, Lava. Jersey, Jesse, the X name I can't say. Okay. Nope, we're on our way to Cancer. We're on Sagittarius and we're going backwards. Okay. First angel for Sagittarius is Indriel. The second is Adriana. The third is Chantal. And the final is Omega. So I mentioned the square to Pluto. There's also a trine from Jupiter. I believe it's the sun, Jupiter, and the moon together. So I want to offer the idea that this full moon, that full moons talk about endings, which are ultimately new beginnings. So I think I titled this something about obstacles and opportunities, because we may start to see we may feel those obstacles coming up, but as we allow for the clearing of those obstacles, then we can start to see the opportunities that are presented as a result of that. So joining Indriel is the spider. Joining Adriana is the bee. Joining Chantal is the swan. And joining Omega is the forgiveness card. Okay, so here we go. For my Sagittariuses, this spider card to me is a card of relationships. It is the fly that gets into the web that does not come out. And there's Indriel, the light worker card. This to me, again, is creating a relationship with spirit that becomes solid. And I want to say that I'm going to go to the fourth position, because over the next few months, as we all experience the opportunities that this Pluto-Saturn conjunction that I talk about every week, because it is truly a blessing in disguise. We don't see that because it feels a little rocky as we walk through it, but it gives us an opportunity to have victory and reconcile the road we've walked down. I don't know if I've told you guys this before, but when I first moved to Laguna Beach, I'm from California, but I had moved to North Carolina for a little over a year. And I experienced a lot of changes as a result of doing that. And it was, I don't know what was going on astrologically, but in the move home, every single piece of clothing, every article, every second house thing I have was stolen, and I lost everything. And initially that first 2 years was very traumatic. But it also stripped me away of everything that kept me from anything that was tying me down. And the reason I say this is because I've been in this apartment now for 16 years, living with the ocean right here, and it's a very healing thing, but it came through the most challenging dynamic, and there were dynamics when I wasn't paying attention to my deeper truth. So that's where I'm going with this, because Adriana is saying that we're being led to our deeper dreams. We're being led to our happiness through our dreams, through our intuitions, through those subtle thoughts that we're getting. And then we have the B card. This is, again, good luck, but it's about paying attention to my being energy, because the swan and Chantal offers us transformation. And Chantal is traditionally a romance card, but for Sagittarius here, in the angel's advice, this is about a deeper love of self. And Jupiter rules beliefs. It rules higher beliefs. It rules higher knowledge. It rules the angelic realm. This week, connecting with spirit for my Sagittariuses will give you a window into your experiences. And some of the ones this last 2 years, I can't tell you how many people who don't study astrology, who come to see me, say, I can't believe what a crazy 2 years it's been. And so this is where I believe it can all come together and make sense for you. So during this full moon for Sagittarius, as you connect with spirit, and I want to offer this, because looking at this full moon as not concentrating on what we want to go away, but what we want to usher in. Okay? All right. That's where I'm going now. I'm headed on to Scorpio. And I have to think that even though this is an Aries full moon, that the Scorpio energy attached, the square to Pluto, the degree of it would really have a strong effect on both Scorpio and Aries. Oh, I'm so happy that I could be, that I can facilitate Spirit's words for you, Akasha. We actually have an angel named Akasha. She's a spiritual teacher. So oftentimes those that are meant to help guide others walk through a dark night of the soul, because if we hadn't, there would be no relatability, and people would be like, yeah, right. What do you know? You've never been broke. You've never been this. You've never been that. So I honor that. I honor your journey. And I would say to call upon Spirit to help guide you and lead you to the next step towards your light. That's where I'll put it. Okay, on to Scorpio. Here we go. Okay. Overly analytical and emotional. It is a time to be both. It can happen. So, and with the Pisces sun and the Scorpio, yes, I can see that. All right, here we go. Sometimes I think Scorpio, especially like a Scorpio stellium, like Debbie mentioned she has. Do you guys ever remember, like, when they had accelerated? I'm going to be 60 this month. We know that. So they used to call them when you used to skip a class because you were so smart. I feel like people who have a lot of Scorpio energy must be trying to skip a class in their soul's journey, because it's such an intense energy and it brings up so much opportunity for transformation. But it's like walking Mount Everest sometimes. So I wonder if those who have a lot of Scorpio energy contemplate this idea in your mind. Have I chosen, because I believe that the birth chart is the soul's syllabus or plan or curriculum for this lifetime. So if you have lots of Scorpio, when it's transformed, it's the most intuitive. It rules I want to say the occult, but I don't really like that word. But it rules this dynamic. It rules a deeper knowing, an energetic knowing. So if you're going through a dark night of the soul, if you're going through a very tumultuous transformation, ask yourself, did I take an AP class, advanced placement class? Did I decide that it was going to be extremely important for me to connect with Spirit and not get caught too much in the human physical? Maybe. So here we go. All right, Scorpio. Thank you for the helicopter too. Okay. I'm just going to do this. We need English, please. Thanks, guys. Okay. Scorpio, here we go. Our first angel is Layla. Our second is Archangel Raphael. Our third is Patience. And the final is Yvonne. All righty. Okay. Okay. Oh boy, Muse Demur. That would be very challenging. 3 planets in Libra and then 3 planets in Scorpio. I think I kind of have that. I have 2 planets in Scorpio and 2 planets in Libra. It's interesting. It seems like most of my chart, the other things, like the Scorpio trumps the Libra. But anyway, all right, here we go. Joining Layla is the Letting Go card. Joining Archangel Raphael is the Eagle. Joining Patience is the Deer. And then joining Yvonne is the Perception card. All right. So here we are. We're talking about this opportunity for real transformation. And it's not just this week. It's these last couple of years. It's about setting the tone for the future and what you want to experience. And for me, the Letting Go card is always about, it's that song from the movie Frozen from Disney. That song, Let It Go. It's funny how some distance makes everything look small, and the fears that once controlled me can't get to me at all. It's time to see what I can do to test the limits, to break through. No right, no wrong, no rules for me. I'm free. And here's the connection to Spirit through nature. Layla talks through nature. Now, we talked about the totem this week being automatic writing, about sitting with a pen or a pencil and paper while you meditate and allowing yourself free thought flowing, whatever they are, symbols, numbers, colors, geometrical shapes, even geographical locations, allowing that to come through to you, because I do believe that Scorpio is going through an intense transformation and getting to the deeper rewards that Scorpio has to offer. And here we have Archangel Raphael and we have the eagle. This is again a deep healing and the connection to the angelic realm. This is where you will find solace. This is where you will find the truth of your heart. And one of the things about this is learning self-compassion. It's learning self-compassion. The patience card is not about patience. This angel represents observation. She represents, and I think of patience as a feminine energy because she's calm. She is compassionate to the human experience, because the human experience is meant to be contrasting. It's meant to be black and white. It's meant to be day and night. And so we must be gentle with ourselves as we allow ourselves the darkness that leads us to the light, that leads us to the empowerment that we want to experience. Because here is the angel Yvonne and the perception card. And Yvonne will talk about a way with animals, but for me, because I never had a human child, I always think of my animals as my children, and I'm very vulnerable to them, their life, their happiness. So this is about vulnerability and about being vulnerable to my own perceptions. And I'm going to go back to the letting go card, because this is about no right, no wrong, no rules for me. I'm free. So as you connect to spirit and as you decide, what do I want? Then whatever darkness has been sitting underneath, whatever obligations, whatever intentions that were not authentic to the truth of your own heart, Scorpio, level up so that you can be vulnerable to a bigger perception and know that you have God and the angels watching over you and guiding you as you walk through this place. Because as you feel empowered by it, then you have the opportunity for other people to experience you. So it's not about the avoidance of challenges. It's more about the seeing the wisdom of what a challenge offers. When I first started my work, I used to use the word look a lot. Look at your opportunity or your obstacle. One coin, two sides. And that's that the look has two O's in it. So because every opportunity has an inherent obstacle and every obstacle has an inherent opportunity. And that's what I think this is about for Scorpio, to look deeper into the truth of who you are, what you are, and how you want to feel about yourself. Okay, let's go on to our Libras. Libra moon, Libra sun, Libra rising, Libra stelliums. I said that all backwards. I meant rising, moon, stelliums, and sun. Oh yeah, smash that like button, people. I like likes. I'll admit it. They make me feel good. Okay. Here we go. Our Libras. Okay. Our first angel is Shanti. The second is Archangel Uriel. The third is Maya. And the final is Adriana. Okay. Joining Shanti is the protection card. Joining Archangel Uriel is the truth card. Joining Maya is the perception card. And joining Adriana is the horse. Wow. This feels really, really powerful to me. Good morning, Bahara. Welcome. All right. So for my Libras, and I'm a Libra sun, guys, and I'll tell you, Shanti is the angel of peace, and I couldn't be happier to see her this week because apparently she's been moving out some disruptive energy. And then we have the protection card here. So I want to say for my Libras, Libra moon, Libra rising, Libra sun, Libra stelliums. There is peace coming. And if there is disruption during this full moon, this is needed in order for this peace to be ushered in, because here is Archangel Uriel again and the Truth card. You know, it's funny. I'm kind of digressing, but I'm not at the same time. Being a Libra sun and doing the work I do, I have become very upfront about my boundaries. Because I'm so intuitive, I have to be mindful of it. I can't be willy-nilly with it. And sometimes there are people who keep pushing me into doing things I don't want to do. And I will remind them that I'm not that kind of person. I can't go into clubs anymore. I can't go into large groups of people. I can't go into Costco anymore without feeling like the jitters. And you know what? If it pisses other people off that you speak your truth, Libra, you know what I have to say? Too bad for them. Because it's really, really important for Libra. If you want to truly feel the peace and to have your light shine, this is what's so important. We can't be standing around being pissed off because we aren't honoring our own truth. So I want to offer this, because Maya is the angel of schooling and education, and then there's the perception card. This is really about it being okay for you to take care of you. Here's Libra. Libra is the sign for balance, the sign of fairness, the sign for justice. So when we go into partnerships, which Libra also rules, we want to be fair. We want to do everything fair. So we think, oh, here I'm going to tell you my truth. And then other people will just keep ignoring it. They'll have their own agenda. And sometimes we just have to go, you know what? I have to hold the line, because if I'm going to be the light that I am, I have to sit in my truth and my boundaries. And this is where we come to Adriana and the horse. The horse is a very intuitive card. And Adriana says she's leading you to the answers to your prayers through your dreams and intuitions. And I want to offer this idea because I think Libra loves to live in balance and peace, but does not always want to have to be the strong arm of the law to initiate that peace. So I want to say for my Libras this week, this feels a little bit about healthy boundaries. It feels a little bit about looking at the dynamics around you. And if you're earlier we talked about, kind of chewing on things and thinking about things, upsets and things after the fact. I want to offer you this, because if Libra is looking for some sort of fairness in a situation, some sort of equality, some sort of recognition in being fair, I'm not sure you're going to get it from a human. So I think this is an important week to take care of you, to know that to call upon Shanti to bring you interior peace, to know that you're being protected, and to know that the only connection that will truly, and I want to say this, it sounds terrible because I don't want to say like you can't trust other human beings, but trusting spirit will lead you to human beings that have the same vibration as you. So letting human beings that don't have the same vibration as you step out because they're creating disruption, or put them on the back burner, not in the inner circle, it might be a wise thing. And you don't have to make any announcements about it. It just has to be something that you get, a permission you give yourself. Okay, here we go. PPPP. I don't know what that means. Wow, this is the died where video got stuck for Scorpio. Keep hearing noble. I don't know. Okay, can you guys hear me? I thought the video was doing fine. Okay, I'm going on to Virgo. Somebody tell me. Small wildflowers, can you hear me okay? Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Here we go. All right, on to our Virgos. Okay, here we go. Our first angel for Virgo is Celeste. The second is Layla. The third is Maya. And the final is Serena. Okay, here we go. Joining Celeste is the Death card. Joining Layla is the King. Joining Maya is the Spider. And joining Serena is the Bee card. Wow. Okay. So for my Virgos, this is interesting because I oftentimes think of Celeste as a shift in the way I'm thinking. And yet this hit me very much in my professional body. There is a possibility there could be some shifting in your homes or in your jobs. Celeste represents a happy move to a new home or a new place of employment, ushering in new energy. And then we have the Death card. The Death is always about transformation. Now, I'm going to jump to the final position, which is Serena, the angel of abundance. And I want to say there's the Bee card. This is important because there's two things going on here. Okay, so first I think this. I think absolutely that the Virgos could have the potential of, and I'm going more to the professional, to jobs. You could either get a promotion, you could change jobs, but I also think that there's a shift in the way that you're thinking. Because as you shift the way you're thinking, that's how we become victorious. That's what the Bee card is. It's my belief, my disposition, my attitude. And Serena is the angel of abundance and God bringing me that abundance. Now, the reason I think that this is more about your professional life, because I think Capricorn has been working on, what am I saying, Capricorn? Virgo. Capricorn, where am I starting over? Virgo has been working on opening up their mind to trusting the things that they can't see, and putting an intention in to have that being proved to them. So we talk about the animal totems. We talk about, the different ways to connect with spirit. So in the opportunity, the obstacle for Virgo, that's what I see here, connecting through nature. And then this feels like justice to me. It doesn't feel like a man. It feels like things pertaining to karma and pertaining to the connection to spirit that helps Virgo shift the way they're thinking so that they start to move forward in a way that is directing spirit as to what they want versus what they think they can get. Because here is Maya. Maya represents schooling, education, and there is the Spider card. The Spider is always about, to me, it's a relationship card. It says creative projects, but once the fly gets into that web, it doesn't come out. So this is a way for Virgo to anchor in as they connect to spirit. And they then go into their professional bodies. And I want to say maybe you'll be shifting your homes, but for some reason, this feels like your professional bodies. Giving life to the deeper truth of what you want transforms things. And then we start to see things come into play. This is the angel of abundance. Serena, look at her. She's not at all worried. And worry is a form of prayer that doesn't serve me. It puts my attention, my intention in the very experience I don't want to have. So as you anchor in, I feel like this really helps you stick into this place of understanding that it is karmically just for you to win when you put your intention to spirit and you trust and you learn from it. Okay, that's where I'm going for Virgo. Let's go on to our Leos. Usually my computer says that I have a poor connection, and I haven't been getting any of those little notices. So I apologize, guys. I don't know what to do about that. So. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Leanna, yeah, the Devil card also to me is an interesting card in the tarot deck, because in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, if you look at the Devil card, the man and the woman are not chained tightly. They're loose chains. So part of, I believe, what the Devil card represents is the ego getting stuck into that place of hurt. And instead of lifting the chain off and just moving out of the situation, we want to feel validated. that our feelings, and so we get stuck in this little loop. So the Devil card offers us an opportunity to look where we're sticking ourselves, and the Death card offers us opportunity to transform out of it, to make reason and sense of it. Okay, so here we go. I am going to, I'm on Leo now. Here we go. Welcome, everybody. Just came in. We're going backwards, so we're on Leo. We're heading towards Aries. For Leo, our first angel is Opal. The second is Desiree. The third is Indriel. And the final is Grace and Antoinette. Amp Firefly, you'll be able to rewind and go back, and we'll also have the timestamps. So you'll be able to just click on that later. Okay. Joining Opal for my Leos is the Swan. Joining Desiree is the Fire Fairy. Joining Indriel is the Bee card. And joining Grace and Antoinette is the Communications card. It's very interesting to me because when I looked at Opal, I thought the first thing is 5th house Leo. 5th house is children. 5th house is pleasure, fun, romance, high school. And I looked at with the Swan and I thought to myself, not every Leo is going to have children. So that's, and not every Leo will want to have children. But what I feel like when I look at this is that it has something to do with children. I can't help but say that. So if you're a Leo that doesn't have children, I'm going to calibrate this for you, but I'm going to go here first. Because if indeed you're a Leo that's wanting to bring children into the world, there's transformation afoot. And I want to offer you this idea because the growing proximity of K2, Saturn, Pluto, and some of the dynamics that were going on these last 2 years could be extremely challenging for a soul to contract to come into for their natal chart. So if Leo has been wanting to have children, create a family, and you've been challenged in any way, I want to offer you this idea that maybe babies are going to come through when these tensions have cleared a little bit. So you could potentially be getting pregnant now or be bringing children in 2020. And I'm going to the final position because I have Grace and Antoinette, the card of compassion, and the communications card. So when I look at this, I feel like that there are a group of Leos right now, it could be men or women, wanting to bring children into this earth and have felt challenged by that. But it has not been a good time. This is my opportunity and or my obstacle. Desiree says conditions have not really been favorable. And the children that have incarnated during these challenges have a specific mission that is in relation to those challenges. And it's going to be about speaking their deeper truth and walking through fears. So here we have the creative action. This is like the Queen of Wands, creative action and optimism. And for my Leos, here's Indriel, the light worker, and the Bee card in the angel's advice. So I want to offer for my Leos that this coming time is a time of compassion, that this full moon could really be kind of putting an ending to all of the trepidation you've been having in children relationships, either with those with children that are already here or with wanting to bring children through. Now let me go through for my single Leos that are 17 and 18 years old or 80 years old who have long passed their childbearing time or prior, whatever. You know where I'm going with this. Because now Opal becomes God is in charge of my babies, my pleasures. 5th house is creative action, right? It's creative genius. So here we are. And there we have transformation. there is inspiration to be coming to you. And if indeed for some reason the inspiration does not come as quickly as you'd want it to, it's time to hold the line with maybe it's hard during all this fearful Pluto Saturn energy to feel light and creative. And it's okay, because that's part of the ebb and the flow. So now this creative action becomes about, like, it's okay not to feel like I can fire on all cylinders all the time, because in the angel's advice, your being energy is what's going to be the most important. Your being energy and shining your light to spirit. One of the things that I know, that anything I endeavor, whether I'm endeavoring a dinner plan with somebody, or endeavoring a reading with somebody, or trying to manifest something into the world, it's my connection with spirit and my being energy, what I believe about that, what my disposition is, because if I believe I'm being supported by spirit, then I'm sitting on a stronger platform. And then sometimes I haven't had enough experience to know that. So I have to have compassion with myself as I communicate with myself and to God and the angels. And the compassion that I'm talking about is because I haven't quite seen this. Opal talks about my children on heaven and earth being cared for by God and the angels, that you can't see God and the angels caring for it. There's an inner knowing that must take place. And so the compassion for that. So overall, for those who do have children and want to have children, I think this is a powerful time for you. And then I refer back to the first half of the reading. And then the second is for those that are single or past childbearing years. Okay, let's go on to our Cancers. All righty. Okay, here we go. Cancer rising, Cancer moon, Cancer sun, Cancer stelliums. Take a quick sip of my tea. All right, here we go. Our first angel is Opal again. Final is Akasha. All right. Okay, joining Opal is the Joy card. Joining Desiree is the Focus card. Joining Bethany is the Raven. And joining Akasha is the Cat. This seems very interesting to me because there's an interesting similar feel to it. And obviously when we get the same angels, we will. So here's Opal in the Joy card. You know how to manifest something, guys? Be joyous. Be joyous about it. Be excited. I know sometimes the human says, well, how do I get there? I don't know. Where's the road? This road, if you look, there's nothing different on that road. This is a being energy, allowing yourself to be joyful. And I want to say this too, because I'm going with children right now. I'm going with the idea for my Cancers. Cancer rules 4th house, home, hearth, families. So I feel like this is a time for my Cancers to really focus in on what is working. What is, because, in every time of challenge, there are things that are working. There are things that are running smoothly. And I want to say that because I'm going to the 4th position. I feel like this Cat card is about independent thought, and Akasha is the spiritual teacher card. The spiritual teacher card, this is where I feel like that you're not necessarily a spiritual teacher, but that because I know Akasha will represent spiritual teachers, but I want to say it this way, because I feel like you have something to experience by having independent joy about children, or about things to do with children. Because again, we're going to have some single Cancers, and then we're going to have Cancers that are wanting children, and those that already have them. But to me, this reading right now is about the expression of joy, childlike joy. I have something to learn, and it also allows me to think a little bit differently, independently. I learn how to grab onto joy without having to have a physical manifestation of it. And I'll say this because in my opportunity or my obstacle, I have Desiree. Desiree is saying conditions aren't favorable, and there's the focus card. So what Spirit is saying is to my Cancers is, where is your focus? Because your focus on joy will create joy, because things happen in their right timing. We spoke earlier. Here's Bethany, the card of self-care, and the Raven is about magic, coincidence, and synchronistic events. So what I want to say, this is very similar as to Leo. If you've been wanting to bring children into this earth, if you are a single Cancer and you've been wanting to birth a career, which to me is a dream baby, these things may have been challenged as a result of this dynamic, and the soul or the everything. I know I'm interrupting myself. When we create a career, as we start to put intention into that, we create a birth chart for it. When we create a business, the day we open our doors is a birth chart. The day that we, start a new endeavor. So many times, those that watch over us will protect us unknowingly from starting something in a period of time that would actually be on a rockier foundation. So that's where I think the Raven is coming in. And as you give life to the idea that there isn't always physical manifestation of my joy straight up. Sometimes Spirit is moving things around, and I'm to hold space for that. I'm to hold space for that. And as I do that, then I know when my turn is next is to move forward, to move independently, to think independently, and what I've learned. I hope that made sense for y'all. It made perfect sense to me. Okay, going on to Gemini. All right, here we go. Yes, we did Scorpio. We are going backwards. So we're on to Gemini, then we'll do Taurus and Aries, and we'll be done. All right, guys. My battery's starting to run low, so I got to hurry. Okay, guys, here we go. For my Geminis this week, our first angel is Ray. The second is Rochelle. The third is Francesca. And the final is Aurora. Well, this is new. All right. Joining Ray is the Queen. Joining Rochelle is the Frog. Joining Francesca is the Truth card. And joining Aurora is the Spider. All right. So Ray talks about yoga and exercise on the card, but look, she's in a meditative position. She is connecting her power center, power chakra, with her throat and her heart chakra, and she's connecting it to Spirit. And then we have the Queen card. This, to me, for Gemini, is all about receiving. The Queen is about fertility. Yes, it's about feminine energy. It's about friendships. It's about the law of allowing. So as you sit, your power comes from allowing Spirit to bring to you and to step forward as you own what it is that you want. Because I'm going to jump to the final position. Aurora says you're flying high right now. Don't descend, because you will soon inspire others. And then we have the Spider card. The Spider is about creative projects, but for me, it's a relationship card. So Aurora is saying, as you break the box of average thinking, as you threaten others with your outside of the box thinking, what comes to you is going to stick in a very large way. Because in my opportunity and my obstacle is Rochelle saying that Rochelle, for me, is my favorite angel, because she says, as I honor and follow the guidance of my heart, prosperity is coming to me. But that prosperity is not money. It is harmonious wealth. It's coming from many dynamics within my being. My feeling and thriving good in my physical body, my mental body, my spiritual body, my intimate body, my family body, my financial body. And then there's the Frog. The Frog in this deck represents emotional cleanup, the releasing of things and jumping from one lily pad to another. The frog is also a card of good luck. The frog represents good luck in Chinese cultures. And as we honor and follow our heart, we have good luck, because Francesca is saying, what do you visualize right now? It will come about. Negativity will block your progress. And there's the truth card. This whole full moon is really about the deeper truth. That's what Pluto rules, the deeper truth, not the superficial truths. And as you own that, Gemini, you will find yourself in situations that will be starting to move your story forward, because God and the angels are bringing that truth to the forefront in order for you to stand in a place that, Gemini, you're the sign of the twins, and twins work in partnership. I mean, sometimes you will find twins that are like this, but to me, this is more about you creating a partnership with the two sides of your mind, the one that believes and the one that doubts, the one that thinks I should move forward, the one that says hold back. Any of that indecision feels like it starts to come. You start to realize that this is about putting my intention to spirit and then receiving it in and then taking my guided action. And that way you're going to move mountains. Okay, so going on to Taurus. All right, Taurus. Okay. Taurus moon, Taurus rising, Taurus sun, Taurus stelliums. All right, here we go. Ooh. All right. Our first angel is Patience. The second is Athena. The third is Adriana. And the final is Bridget. Okay. All right. The Patience card is joined by the Bear. The Athena's joined by the Owl. Adriana's being joined by the High Priestess, and Bridget's being joined by the Perception card. Okay. Taurus. I'm a Taurus moon. I'm an Aries rising, so these are my two biggies. And here's a situation. It's about, it's not about patience like sitting on an egg. It's more about observing an energy and paying attention to it and learning from it. And then we have the Bear. This is a card. It could talk about music, about storytelling, but this for me is my history. And I want to offer this because I am a Taurus moon. I love very richly and very deeply and very stubbornly. There are times when if I feel that I have been just and fair, and that's my Libra, okay, I will stand with my bull feet in the ground. And that's what I think this is about this week, because I'm going to Bridget and the Perception card. And I'm not saying that being stubborn is a good thing. I'm saying that Spirit is asking us this week during this full moon to take our story and our history and try to be really authentic with what is real and what we're stacking on. I think sometimes when a human gets hurt, they will feel like the hurt isn't big enough because we don't really apologize well as humans naturally. At least that's been my experience. If anybody else has had a different experience, please share it with me. But as a result of that, I think that we tend to go into our history and we want to say, well, you done me wrong, and this is why, and I'm justified. And I think that Spirit is asking us not to go too far this week. I think that's where Athena comes in. She's saying it's lovingly, it's powerful for you to lovingly assert yourself. And the Owl is about two sides of one coin, deception and wisdom. And I want to offer this to my Tauruses, because whatever you may be experiencing that you're, going through an old story again, it's a good enough story. If you're hurt, if you're upset, if you have been done wrong in some way, you don't need to stack it up. The story stands on itself. because in the angel's advice, I believe that things are going to shift as you can see further down the road. That's what I think the high priestess is about. She's about intuition, yes, about divining, but it's about being able to see a picture and knowing that as I put an intention out there and knowing that spirit is leading me. So this is where I want to go with this. This week, in this full moon, full moons are traditionally about letting things go. They're about the ending of something for the beginning of something else. They have influence for 2 weeks over our lives. So what I want to say for Taurus this week, or for this full moon, is to look into the history, your own emotional body, and give yourself permission, if you've been hurt, to say, that's enough. I don't need to make the hurt bigger in order for it to be palatable or valid, because I think you'll only be tripping yourself up. I think on some level, there's the potential of a pushback. So if you have a story with somebody and you have a history of a little bit of a challenging relationship, when you're trying to build a bridge, be mindful as to what kind of planks you're using to build that bridge. Because when we're in a challenging situation with another person, if we constantly bring up the problems, their wrongdoings, they're going to resist. They're not going to acquiesce and say, oh, you're right, I was terrible to you, I screwed you over, I shouldn't have done that. They're not going to do that. They're going to pull out their own sack and say, well, you did this and you did this and you did this. So this week, I think it's kind of an opportunity for Taurus to stand in their own value. Taurus rules the second house. That's self-worth. You don't need to stack it up. Whatever grievance you have is good enough, and within that grievance, you are validated. If your feelings are hurt, so validate yourself and try not to look to others. All right, let's go on to our final sign, Aries. That wasn't that much fun for Taurus. Sorry. Okay. The numbers 111, I think, are really fun because not only does Spirit use them all the time, Spirit is always reminding us what we're thinking. I dropped a card. Hold on a second. Whoa. And I have to grunt these days to pick things up. Okay, so 111, and I want to offer you this too, because if you see 308 is an 11. There's combinations where right now it's 1212, but because that 111, us being able to focus in on what are we really thinking, what's the deepest part of our truth in that moment, that's the point of manifestation. That's the ground zero of manifestation. So if you are indeed seeing those numbers come up, it's time to review what's my deeper truth? What am I actually focusing in on? And if you've been hurt and you're focusing in on that, and that upset is spinning and churning in your head, that's creating a manifestation. So that's when I say to Spirit, thank you for giving me a peaceful mind and a peaceful heart. All right, here we go, Aries. Woo! Cards flying out everywhere. Okay. All right. Our first angel is Archangel Uriel. Oh, goodness, the square is really going to be fun. Then we have Chantal. Then we have Athena. And then we have Shanti. Awesome. So here we see Pluto. That square is really going to make some of us. This is the thing. It may not be you guys. You may not be the one that gets pissed off. Maybe someone gets pissed off at you. And you have to deal with it. Okay, here we go. The fear card is joining Archangel Uriel. The trust card is joining Chantal. Athena is joined by the High Priestess, and Shanti is joined by the Movement card. Okay, so if I was to pick two cards that would be Pluto and Saturn, it would be Archangel Uriel and the fear card. And I say Archangel Uriel would represent Pluto because it's dealing with those deep emotions. You know, we have the outer planets are the ones that we don't see. And for me, A lot of astrologers will talk about the 7 visible planets ruling our everyday lives, but our everyday lives are really ruled by our emotions. They're ruled by what we don't see. So, one person wakes up in a bad mood and it ripples out through their whole day. Mercury isn't going to really deal with their bad mood. It could be Pluto. It could be Uranus. It could be Neptune. They could be waking up with a hangover. So I feel like for Aries, this week, so you've got the Aries full moon at a Scorpio degree squaring Pluto. You may feel very fiery because that's a lot of Mars energy. And so that's where this comes up. Now, I want to offer this. In the final position is Shanti, the angel of peace, and the movement card. David Cochran talks about Mars and Aries being the truth seeker. What if this week, Aries, part of your frustration and your anger is that you are a truth seeker, and because you see things so clearly, you're just sick of the BS. You're sick of people, saying one thing and doing another. I feel like, because in the Chantal is the angel of romance and the trust card, and this is really deeper love for me. This is Aries' love for self, because sometimes the truth seeker, people don't like it. People don't want to have their deeper truths revealed. They want to pretend they're victims of whatever their story is, or they didn't contribute to their issue. Because I want to say this for Aries, Athena and the high priestess is standing strong in what you know in your intuitive body and not listening to what people are telling you with their words. Because you could argue their words all day long and try to explain to them a deeper knowing that you have, that truth that you hear that is not being said in the right words, but it will do no good. So I believe this is about giving yourself permission to move towards your peace, move towards it in a way. Again, this is sort of similar to Taurus. I don't think that there's going to be a lot of validation on the other side. I have to believe that there's a part of this Pluto Saturn that says, I want to be validated. I want to justify my fears. I want to justify my plumbing as it bubbles up and spills over and spews out onto you. But I don't think that you're going to win any wars by trying to take it on and say no. So Athena is saying for you to have that self-love and trust and not get up your own grill. Like Leo gets a lot of kind of grief for being big and coming into a room and sucking up all the air. And Aries gets a ton of grief for being aggressive and being blunt and rude. And, that to me is bullshit, to be honest with you. I think Aries is just sometimes not willing to do the dance who are all about trying to fluff up BS. I think they just want to get to what's real and then move on. And that's what I think this is about this week. You may be, there goes now. I'm hearing the connection is bad. Okay. I'm going to slow down. I'm wrapping things up right now. For Aries, I want to just say this. Okay. Looks like we're back. For Aries, overall, you may this week see clearly into stories that are not necessarily a deeper truth. You may be frustrated by the superficial, but I do believe that Aries is going to feel very good about yourself as you manage that truth. So maybe this is a week where that full moon gives you permission, rather than to lob off the head of the person who's telling you a half truth or being a victim to you, you just let it ride. And that's how you feel more peace moving forward. Okay, that's it for this week, guys. I really will say that I expect the energies, there's some fun energies too. There's a trine between Jupiter and the moon and the sun. I'm more concentrating on the things that might come up and hit us from behind. So I want to thank you all for being here this morning. Again, if you would like to book a half hour with me or an hour, whatever, if you'd like to book a reading with me, the information will be below the link, or you can find me on Lada's site under the readers menu. And I'm Teri Hunter. I'm here every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Pacific time with messages from your angels to help you traverse the transits and to help you connect to spirit. So thank you. And thank you, my right-hand man, Small Wildflowers. You're awesome. I couldn't do this show without you. I had no idea I needed you so much, but I know it now. Deep love to you all. May God and the angels watch over you. Namaste. Have a great week. See you next week.